came to Knoxville, and Patty and the kids went to Rockwood. And you kids went to Rockwood, and I had to find a house to live in, and found this little house on Winterset Drive. It's $75 a month rent. I went over there, and the grass was, I guess the grass was at least 3 feet high in that yard. I got me a lively lead or sickle. And I had to sickle all that grass down. I got Daddy to give me, I think, about $50, and I bought me a little push mower. Finally got the grass mowed down where we could live there. I moved y'all up there. That was the beginning of life in Knoxville. Little house at Winterset supposedly had 3 bedrooms in it, but when we ended up with the 5 boys, we had double bunk beds and a trundle bed. And I said something to Mike years later. I said, when are you boys going to start having some kids, you know, and everything? And Mike said, well, Dad said, I can remember when 5 of us lived in 1 bedroom. And I said, well, it really hurt you, didn't it? I said, all 5 of you got college education, did right well. I said, it didn't seem to hold you back a lot. But while we were on Winterset, we had, I believe it was 5 families with 28 kids. I mean, it was a real mob of kids there on the block, and the Ezels and the Gerards and the Rogers and a whole bunch of kids there. And we were sitting out one day out on the back of the cars, all of us adults having a beer, talking and everything, and all you kids were in the street riding your tricycles and playing around. And DJ Maynard, the name of the guy up the street, great big old guy, he's a State Farm agent, and he had an old 1940 Ford, and he come putting up the street, and had a blowing his horn, and he yelled at the window, said, get out of the street, get out of the street. Said, looks like the products of a Chinese whorehouse. And I guess it did in a way. No, so anyway, DJ had his wife's name was Rose. They were so funny. They told the story on themselves that DJ had some kind of blood condition, and he had to take this medication, and it destroyed his sex life, and only about twice a year would he be able to get aroused. He and Rose were having sex, and she was a little bitty woman, and like I said, DJ was a great big guy, and they were having sex, and Rose had a hold of the bed up here like this, hold of the head of the bed, and they were having sex, and the bed broke. And when the bed broke, it caught Rose's hands up here. She said, oh, DJ, my hands are breaking out, you're killing me. And he said, shut up, Rose, let me finish, shut up, let me finish. So they told us on themselves, you know. So what was so funny, and it was bad too, is it broke 3 fingers on Rose's one hand and 2 fingers on another hand. And so every time we'd look up, she'd come walking down through the yard, and with all these casts on her hands, you know, when she come walking up, you couldn't do anything but just laugh at her. I mean, it was always funny as it could be. Across the street, we had Freddy Lay and Loretta, and their 2 kids. And I never will forget old Freddy. One year on Christmas Eve, I had gone down to Rockwood to get an order for selling some meat. And it come a snowstorm, and I was coming back up Kingston Pike, and that's before the interstate and everything, you know, and I was coming up through there, and the distributor cap came out, and I just stopped on Kingston Pike and had traffic backed up because it just couldn't go any further. And so finally, I got out and went in these people's house, and I called and asked if somebody could come get me something. And old Freddie, he came down there in his truck, came down to Kingston Pike. Now, we finally got my car off the side of the road and brought me home for Christmas Eve so I could have Christmas next day with my family. I always remembered that. That made a great Christmas.